The hall was full of light, but the mood was dark. At the center of the Galactic Council chamber, all 89 species stood proud. The tall, thin Varani spoke first, his voice full of mockery. "Humanity has always been dramatic," he said, smiling. "But drama is not strength. They cause more noise than value." Others laughed. The Crithians clapped their claws. The Alexians, glowing blue, shared silent looks of amusement. Even the normally neutral Anari showed no protest. The vote had already been cast. Earth was out. Humanity had been exiled from the council. Ambassador Raylan stood alone in his plain black coat. His face showed no anger, no fear. His eyes, sharp and cold, looked at each of the alien leaders one by one. "We hear your decision," he said softly. The Varani tilted his head. "Nothing more, human? No plea? No threats?" Raylan shook his head. "You will not understand now, but one day you will remember this moment and regret it." Then, without another word, he turned and walked out of the hall. No protests, no speeches, no farewell. Just silence. Back on Earth, news spread fast. The council had cast out humanity after blaming them for failed treaties, wars, and emotional instability. But instead of panic, there was calm. The people of Earth had expected this. They knew the council would never accept humanity's rise. In hidden bunkers and dark satellites, old programs activated. The Exodus directive was confirmed. "Are we ready?" General Amina asked. Dr. Corin, one of Earth's top AI engineers, nodded. "Our fleets are unfinished, but they don't need to be perfect. We just need to disappear and become something we can't predict," the general said, with a smile. In the next 10 years, Earth went silent. No trade, no messages, no ships in council space. Space stations vanished. Colonies went dark. Scientists, soldiers, and engineers disappeared from known space. Most species believed humans had given up. Some laughed. They were always too emotional, they said. Now they are hiding like cowards. But others began to worry. Ships near the outer rim went missing. Listening posts heard strange signals, human voices, but twisted, enhanced, evolved. Still, the council laughed. If they were dangerous, the Varani said, they would have attacked by now. What the council didn't know was this: humanity had not disappeared. They had simply left the old galaxy behind. In a dead system far beyond known space, giant machines built megastructures in silence. New technologies, powered by dark energy, were tested. AI minds merged with human souls, began planning a future where Earth would never bow again. Children were raised not to fear aliens, but to surpass them. They were taught the truth. We were cast out, not because we were weak, but because they feared what we could become. One day, a Crithian patrol ship found a drifting object in deep space. A small probe. They brought it aboard, laughing. "Probably old human junk," one said. But when they scanned it, a message, played in clear Terran English. "We did not fight. We did not beg. You laughed when we walked away. That was your mistake." Then the probe exploded into a flash of data, sending virus code through their entire system. Their ship went blind for 27 hours. When it recovered, every file had been overwritten by a single symbol, a human hand. Back at Council HQ, the leaders met again. "There is nothing to fear," the Varani said, but even he sounded unsure. Now, Ambassador Raylan was long gone, but the memory of his calm voice haunted them. One day you will regret this. That day was coming soon, and humanity would not come back with words. They would return with something far greater. The galaxy moved on. After humanity's exile, most species believed the problem was solved. No more Terran debates. No more Earth pride. No more unexpected solutions from the emotional creatures. Trade routes resumed. Council meetings were smoother, quieter, even. But something felt wrong. Ships began vanishing near the edge of mapped space. Not destroyed, not attacked. Just The Vexery science ship Orbit Whisper disappeared without a signal. A mining fleet from Rulax 5 never returned. A listening post on Delta Span recorded one last sound before going dark. Human breathing. The Council dismissed it. Accidents. Pirates. Maybe black holes. But whispers began. They're still out there, some aliens said. They're watching. They didn't surrender. They're planning. No one knew where humans had gone, until one strange signal arrived at an abandoned council outpost. It wasn't a warning. It wasn't a threat. It was a song. Old earth music, soft piano, deep. Cello. Gentle. Beautiful. The kind of song a mother might play for a sleeping child. But behind that music was something else. A low mechanical hum. Like a ship no one had ever built before. On a distant desert moon, a pair of travelers found something buried in the sand. It was half machine, half organic. It pulsed like a heart. One touched it. His mind went blank for 13 seconds. When he awoke, he said only this: "They are not like us anymore." Meanwhile, within the dark space beyond the Council's reach, something massive was forming. The humans called it Sol Arc Prime, a megastructure shaped like a ring, with Earth-like habitats, weapon platforms, research zones, and quantum gates. It circled a dead star like a crown of revenge. There, children studied faster than ever. Hey, I guided them. Human engineers fused with machines, calm, focused, emotionless. This was not the humanity the Council remembered. This was something new. Something prepared. Inside Sol Arc Prime, an elder human named Dr. Leora Sung stood in front of a massive screen. She watched simulations of Council defense systems. They still rely on photon grids. She said, they haven't improved yet. "Oh," replied the AI beside her. "We gave them light," she whispered. "They chose darkness. But soon, we will remind them what true light is." Behind her, students young, human, and half-cybernetic studied alien languages, battle tactics, star mapping, and diplomacy. One boy raised his hand. "Why didn't we destroy them when they laughed at us?" Dr. Sung smiled sadly. "Because we don't destroy to feel better. We build so we never need to beg again." Back in Council space, an emergency was declared. The Council's central archive, home to thousands of years of data, was breached. No physical damage, just a single line of human code placed at the heart of their network. "We remember everything." The Council panicked. Meetings were held. Behind closed doors, fleets were moved. Weapons were prepared. The Council broadcast a message across space. If humanity is still out there, we invite peaceful talks. But they received only silence. Years passed. The silence became louder than war. And then, without warning, a Terran ship entered Council space. It did not fire. It did not speak. It simply hovered above a neutral moon, scanning everything, then vanished. Its design was unfamiliar. No heat signature. No propulsion trails. No one could track it. But it left a symbol burned into the moon's crust. The hand again. Now, some species began to worry. Others began to doubt the Council. "If humanity returns," a Lanari elder said, "we may need them more than they ever needed us." The Council had laughed when they left, but during the quiet years, the galaxy began to miss the humans they had thrown away. Hook. First 5 minutes. At first, it was small. A Council station flickered, then lost power. Next, the starships. Above, Norvac 7 refused to launch. Then, the core network itself blinked out. Every system that used old Terran technology was failing. And for the first time in 300 years, the Council realized it needed humanity. The Council chamber, once proud and full of certainty, was now filled with fear. Why are our systems failing? Asked Supreme Chancellor Varani, his voice shaking. They're not failing, replied the Zarthian technician. They're turning off, like someone has the password. Whispers filled the air. The truth was rising like smoke, slow but deadly. All their greatest systems were built on human tech, the faster-than-light drives, the quantum shields, the terraforming arrays, all based on Earth's original code. For centuries, the Council had depended on Terran engineers. But after humanity was exiled, they copied the tech and pushed the humans out. Now that code was collapsing from the inside. A Krithian admiral slammed his fist on the table. We must hunt them down. Find their hidden worlds. Attack first. Attack. What? Said the Lanari ambassador coldly. You can't shoot what you can't see. Meanwhile, deep in the void between galaxies, aboard the station's Sol Arc Prime, humanity was listening. They had intercepted the Council's emergency signals. They knew about the failures. They knew about the panic. Dr. Leora Sum stood in front of a giant tactical map. It displayed every system where Terran tech still lived. She turned to the officers behind her. They built their empire on our hands. Now they tried to live without us. Let them feel the cold of isolation. Back in Council space, chaos grew. A medicine factory on Gorath 6 exploded after a Terran nano-swarm activated inside its cooling tanks. The AI doctor screamed in human voice before shutting down. A library on the planet Revox began playing old Earth documentaries on repeat. A warning played in over 73 alien languages. You exiled the builders. Now the galaxy forgets how to build. In a hidden data vault beneath Council HQ, Archivist Zell moved through Forbidden's files. His 3 insect-like eyes scanned old Earth files once marked as non-essential. He discovered the truth. Humanity didn't leave the Council unprepared. They left seeds, codes, backdoors. And now something was waking them up. Whispered to himself, this isn't revenge. This is reprogramming. Ambassador Raylan, thought to be long gone, appeared in a pirate broadcast across Council networks. His face was older now, but his voice, it was calm, controlled. We warned you. You laughed. We offered peace. You took power. Now you remember. Not for war, but for the systems we made work. You didn't exile a species. You unplugged your own future. A message played once, then deleted itself. Not even Council A, I could retrieve it. Meetings were held. Deals were offered. The Council sent messages to the void. Return to us. Let us rebuild. Let us speak. But no reply came. On Sol Arc Prime, humanity did not celebrate. There was no victory party, no shouts of joy, only silence. And planning. Because this wasn't the end. It was just the first crack. The Council wasn't falling yet, but it had started to break. Everyone knew. The worst was still coming. Hook. First 5 minutes. It arrived without sound. No warning, no trail. Just a shadow. Across the stars. Above the Council capital, a ship appeared. Not large, not armed, but unstoppable. Every weapon locked onto it. Every defense system targeted it. And then everything turned off. In the skies above Velmara Prime, the heart of the Galactic Council, alarms screamed as defense towers shut down. Shields failed. Scanners went blind. At the center of it all floated a single black ship. Smooth. No markings. No weapons. But every system that touched it, every beam, every scan died instantly. Panic spread fast. Fire everything. Yelled. Admiral Corsic, trembling with fear. They did. Lasers, missiles, ion storms, nothing hit. The weapons simply didn't launch. Or exploded in place. Then, the ship sent a signal. Not in Council language. Not in code. In perfect, clear Terran English. You are not under attack. You are under observation. Inside the Council chamber, chaos. What do they want? Someone shouted. Peace? Asked another. No, whispered an old Lannery priest. They want us to see. To understand how small we've become. A council tried to send messages, diplomatic, military. Desperate. No reply. Just one more signal came from the black ship. A single symbol displayed across every screen in the capital. The human hand. Again, on board Solark Prime, Doctor. Leora soon watched it unfold with emotionless eyes. The prototype worked, said her assistant. They've seen what one small scout can do, Leora replied. Imagine what the full fleet could do. But we're not attacking? No, she said, we're reminding. That same day, across dozens of council worlds, strange things happened. On Draxia 4, a council factory powered down and printed one object, an old Earth toy, a rubber ball. On Varric Station, the central AI turned its lights blue and played classical human music. On a remote asteroid, a hidden message appeared on every screen. You laughed when we left, but even silence can teach lessons. The aliens didn't understand. They thought humans would come back with warships, with bombs, with rage. But instead, humanity returned with silence, with presence, with control. Without lifting a single weapon. They had already won the room. On Velmara Prime, people began to gather. Citizens, aliens, leaders all, staring at the black ship above. No fire, no movement, no words, just watching, a quiet reminder of what had been lost and what might still return. Meanwhile, deep in Council command, Chancellor Varani whispered to himself, they didn't need war. They only needed us to see what they've become. One of his aides stepped forward. Shall I prepare the apology broadcast? Varani shook his head slowly. No, it's too late for words. Aboard the black Terran ship, a young human named Elias Grant stood at the observation deck. He had never seen the Council worlds before. He had been born in the void, raised by an eye, trained by silence. But as he looked at the thousands of alien eyes watching him from the planet below, he said something soft. They don't fear us. They fear the version of themselves that banished us. Back on Solark Prime, a countdown began. Not to war, not to invasion, but to phase 2. The Council had seen proof. Now they would learn the cost. Asterisk hook. First 5 minutes. Across the galaxy, one black ship had appeared. It fired no weapons. It made no threats. It simply watched. But it was enough. Now, entire star systems trembled, because fear doesn't come from war. It comes from the unknown. In the high tower of Council command, Chancellor Varani stood frozen. His claws tapped the cold glass as he stared up at the sky. The Terran ship was still there, unmoving, unstoppable. He hadn't slept in 3 days. The Council had begged for peace, sent 5 messages. No reply, not even a single word, only silence. And the glowing image of the human hand flashing once per hour. Across the galaxy, rumors grew like wildfire. They've returned to take revenge. Some whispered. No, said others. They're just watching us fall. Entire civilizations began making plans. The Crithian Empire moved half its fleet to the edge of human space. The Ilexians shut down all communication satellites and turned inward. The Lannery, who once voted for humanity's exile, now sent priests to pray for forgiveness. But the humans had said nothing. They had done nothing. And still, the fear grew. On the distant ice world Tharn 7, a massive council war drill failed. Every robot unit suddenly danced to Earth music. The lead commander shouted, "Who did this?" A tiny line of Terran code flashed across every screen. "If we can make you dance, what else can we do?" In Council Hall, panic turned to blame. "You did this by exiling them." One shouted. "They were weak," another replied. "We couldn't trust them. They were the reason we advanced this far," screamed a third. Fists slammed into table. Claws scratched metal. Tentacles quivered. There was no more unity. Number. More order. Just fear. On board the Terran ship above Velmara Prime, Elias Grant received his next instruction. Stay silent. Observe. Let them break themselves. He didn't understand at first. Shouldn't we speak to them? He asked Commander. Ilana Voss stood beside him, watching the stars. No, they need to understand what they lost, not what we're offering. Back on Sol Arc Prime, Dr. Leora Sung watched hundreds of council broadcasts. Fear in every voice. Desperation in every face. "Now," she whispered, "they remember us." Her assistant asked, "Do we move to phase 2? "Not yet," she replied. "Let them beg a little longer." Meanwhile, on the moon of Zen 4, a group of young alien students sat in silence. They were shown a video. Old footage. Humans helping rebuild after a planetary flood. Humans sharing tech with alien engineers. Humans laughing beside council members. One student raised a trembling hand. "Why did we exile them?" His teacher paused. She had no answer. As the weeks passed, something worse than war spread. Regret. Planets that once cheered for Earth's exile now held quiet ceremonies. Some carved Terran symbols into walls. Others sent messages into deep space. "Humanity, if you hear us, we are sorry." Still, no reply came, because humanity wasn't waiting for an apology. They were watching for a choice. Would the galaxy change? Or would it collapse before a single shot was ever fired? In a dark chamber beneath Council Command, the oldest AI core memory played a hidden file. It was the last message sent by Ambassador Raylan before Earth's exile. "You call us emotional, but emotion built bridges, saved worlds, cured disease. You call us unstable, but our chaos made your future. And when you no longer needed us, you threw away your fire. Now feel the cold." Above Velmara Prime, the black ship finally moved. It turned slowly, silently, and vanished into the stars. Gone. No goodbye. No threat. No war. Just a message left behind on the planet's surface, carved into stone. "We were not your enemy. You were your own." And with that, the Council truly understood. Humanity had never needed war to win. They only needed to leave. Asterisk. Hook, first 5 minutes. They thought the black ship was the message, but it was only the whisper before the storm. On the edge of known space, 17 human ships appeared, silent, shadowed, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Judgment Fleet had arrived, not to conquer, not to destroy, but to decide. It began with a shadow over stars. On the edge of the Jura expanse, alien explorers witnessed it first. A rift opened wide, sharp, unnatural. From it came 17 ships, huge, dark, moving slow, but with purpose. They didn't match any database. No names, no class, no registry. One explorer said, "Those aren't warships, they're monuments." Another whispered, "They've come to judge." Council Command went into full emergency mode. Admiral Corsic yelled across the room, "Get me visuals." They main screen lit up showing the human fleet, massive, silent, cold. Each ship bore the same symbol etched in burning white on their hulls, the human hand. "These are not weapons," said the Lanare ambassador. "They are memories, ships, made from everything we threw away." On board the lead human vessel, named Truth of Silence, Commander Ilana Voss stood at her console. She looked across the vast display of the galaxy. "All council systems are watching." Her officer reported. "Good," she said. "Let them watch." A message was sent out not as a threat, but as a broadcast dot. It played in every language known to the council. "This is not war. This is not revenge. This is judgment. You cast us out. You called us chaos. But now we return to show you what your silence created." On council worlds, citizens stopped in their tracks. Shoppers, soldiers, priests, children. Everyone watched the human ships glide through systems never touching, never firing. But every time one passed, alien systems failed. Dot lights dimmed. Eyes went still. Satellites paused. Dot was like the universe was holding its breath. The council begged again. "Humanity, please speak with us. We were wrong. We see your power." But the judgment fleet stayed silent. Their silence was louder. And war. Dot in a council archive. An old historian accessed banned records. Dot. He found something ancient. A Terran principle. Long forgotten. Dot. It read, "Power is not what you use. True power is what you choose not to use." He looked up at the screen, showing the silent fleet, and whispered, "They could end us, but they don't. That's what makes them stronger than all of us." Aboard Sol Arc Prime, Dr. Leora Sung watched in silence. Behind her stood the new generation of Terran's enhanced minds, emotion-trained hearts, souls filled with purpose. A student asked, "Are we going to destroy the council?" "No," Leora said. "We're going to offer them one final chance." And so the fleet stopped. They formed a perfect circle around the council capital system. No weapons raised. No engines moved. Just waiting. And then the final message was sent to every council leader. Every screen, every AI. You have one choice. Remember what we gave you, or forget and face what comes next. The galaxy moves forward with or without you. Humanity already has. Back in council chamber, Chancellor Vorani broke down for the first time in history. He bowed. To a signal, to a people, to a mistake he could no longer undo. "We didn't lose humanity," he whispered. "We lost ourselves." And above them, the ships of Earth waited. Not to punish, not to fight, but to witness the answer. Asterisk hook. First 5 minutes, the council waited for death. But humanity had never come to kill. They had come to remind the galaxy what it meant to feel, what it meant to hope, what it meant to burn with purpose. The 17 Terran ships remained still, silent giants above the council's homeworld. No weapons, no words, no movement. Just waiting. Down below, across every alien city, across every government, a single question echoed. What will they do now? No one had the answer. In the council chamber, leaders sat broken. They remembered the old days when humans laughed with them, cried with them, bled beside them in war. Now, those humans watched them like gods from the stars. "They're not angry," whispered a Crithian elder. "They're disappointed." A signal came through. Not a voice, not a threat, just a flame, a glowing image of a match being lit. No words. Then silence again. And every alien knew this wasn't war. This was a choice. Their last one. Aboard the Terran ship Truth of Silence, Commander Ilana Voss stood alone in the observation dome. She watched the council planet spin beneath her. Her young officer asked, "Will they change?" Voss didn't answer. Instead, she touched a control pad and sent one final message. "We are not here to conquer. We are not here to rebuild your council. We are not here to be accepted. We are here to make sure you remember who we were. And with that, the ships turned dot slow, graceful. One by one, they left orbit. Back into the void, got back into the silence, dot no attack. No destruction. No judgment, dot just a reminder. On the surface, alien children ran to the windows and pointed at the sky. They're leaving, they shouted. Elders wept quietly. Some collapsed to their knees because they finally understood. Humanity didn't return to take revenge. They returned to remind the galaxy of what it had lost. On a moon far from the council worlds, a new monument was built that had no name, no flags, no symbols except one, the open human hand. Beneath it, carved in stone, were just 5 words. We were the fire you feared. Back on Earth, the sky was calm. Inside a quiet room on Sol Arc Prime, Dr. Leora Soong stood beside Ambassador Raylan. Both were older now. Wiser. They watched the stars and listened to the silence left behind. Do you think they learned? Raylan asked softly. Leora nodded once. Some will. Some won't. But they'll never forget again. He smiled. Good. Then our work is done. And so the story ended not with war, not with victory, but with memory. Because humanity had become something greater than soldiers, greater than diplomats, greater than machines. They had become a warning, a mirror, and a flame in the cold heart of the galaxy. We were the fire. And now the stars burn with our light. Asterisk.